Hello, welcome back to the Book Vandal Shop. Today we're going to embellish the file folder insert that we made in the last video. So hopefully you didn't have any problems making that, and let me know if you did. So I thought maybe you might want to see how I embellish this. So it will be a lot of tearing and gluing and inking on there. So, you know, if that's boring and not your thing, then, you know, feel free to move on, and I won't be offended by that, but I thought maybe you'd like to see how I did all the little tucks and all that. So that's what we're going to do today. So I am using Edith Holden book pages, the hardcover books. I have lots of them, and that is what I'm using as the theme of my next two journals I'm making. Doing Edith Holden book pages in it. It's going to be kind of a large format journal because I'm not cutting the pages down at all when I insert them in. So I'm probably not going to use any digi-kits this time, or at least that's my goal, not to use any digitals. So I like this rough edged look, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just tearing around. And I don't know if you know this little trick here. Well, it's not really a trick. That's my preference. When you tear a certain way, notice how, let me see if I can get it to come in focus. Notice how, see, I've got that rough edge right there. And when I ink that, it shows quite a bit. Let me show you what I'm saying. Okay, let's see. Okay, see that? See how the ink makes it look really rough? And I don't know, I'm just kind of weird. I don't like that to show. So on the part that I'm going to have up, you tear away. Okay, does that make sense? So this is the side I want up on my page. So when I tear, I want to make sure I'm tearing down that way against it. And then that way my rough edges are on the back. And I just think it looks nicer, and it seems like it makes the paper a little less porous. When you're inking the reverse side here, it's a lot more porous. It seems to really soak the ink up more. I don't know. It's just my thing, but that's how I tear. Okay, so like I said, this may be a boring video because all I'm doing is embellishing, but then you can see how I've done it all. You can use whatever pages you want, scrapbooking paper, digi-kits. I just happen to be doing Edith Holden themed journals, so that's what I'm working on. And this really isn't a tutorial, so I'm not going to gab away the entire time. Just want to size this to fit inside my stitching a little better. Yeah, like that. And I'm going to mark just a little bit here and a little bit there because I want to, I don't want to cover that thumb hole. I don't know. I call them thumb holes. I don't know what they really are. You know, when you've got a pocket and you cut the little circle out of it. I always say thumb hole, but okay, like that. And I think I'll take a little bit more off the top. Okay, yeah, there we go. And then I have pages, my book pages in my journal. I don't have this journal finished yet, but I did use a little bit of scrapbooking paper here and there. And so everything I cut off of the edges, when I trimmed, actually it was when I trimmed off the height, I kept all of that so that I could use it in making tags and collages. So That's what I'm going to do here. I just want to get a little bit of collar behind that. So see how that's got a white center on there? I don't want, when I tear this, I don't want the white on there. That's why I tear it away. And it just looks better when it's inked. Okay. Yeah, like that. And then I'm just gonna tear that up. And then I'm gonna glue those on there like that after I ink it. And then I'm gonna take the leftover piece there and make myself a little pocket, a little tuck. Like that. And then I picked out a quote. I'm just going to use the same one. Like I said, I'm making 2 journals, so just make them match. And then this one I'm going to use later in the journal. So I'm going to go with this one. I'll keep that one. This book is just absolutely lovely. I'm a bit obsessed with it, I guess. It's just so versatile for what you want to do with junk journaling and embellishing. I actually own 8 of these Edith Holden books. One of them I'm keeping just for reading and looking at and never tearing it up, but the others are for doing projects with. About right. See, and what I'll do is I will ink those up and then I will glue them on like that, and then I will make double pockets. Okay, so I'm going to ink these up off camera so you don't have to watch me do that part, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've inked up everything, and I glued this piece down first and then this piece, just to add a little splash of color back there. And now I'm going to turn these into little tuck spots for some miniature tags. So I'm just going to glue down the side and the bottom. And I'll leave the top without any glue on it. And just going to place it on there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Make sure you left the top part without any glue up there. Yep, I didn't put it on upside down. I have been known to do that a time or two. And we'll do the same thing with this piece, down the side, across the bottom. Okay. And I don't know, where do I want it? Put it there. Okay, now we're going to make some miniature tags out of the offcuts we had from when we created this thing, and we had a bunch of stuff we cut off. We can make our tags out of that. So I just made some little small ones, and I'm just gonna cut these with scissors. Now I have 2 little tags. The trick to getting your sorry, excuse me, your tags even when you do the little angle on them. So like if I didn't have that one and I just snipped off that, take your top one and flip it around that way. And then now you've got a cutting guide to do the opposite side. I don't think that's in focus. There we go. Now you have a guide to help you cut that piece over there and that piece over there. And then your tags will be even on each side. Okay. Let's see, what size hole did I do there? I think I used my crocodile punch that has a medium-sized hole, but I don't have that out right now, so we're going to go with the regular hole punch. And I'm going to go ahead and put some little reinforcers on there. I think it looks nice that way. These you just buy in the office supplies section of Walmart or Staples or whatever office supply store you shop at. They have them. They're plain white. They're sticky, and then just take your distress ink and rub it all over them, and then you can distress them whatever color you need them to be. Okay. Give these a little bit of ink. I'll just go ahead and do these on camera since it won't take but a minute. So it is Memorial Day weekend here in the United States, and Memorial Day for us is a time to remember ones who've passed, especially those who served. So it is a holiday weekend here, but there we go. But it also means lots of graduation open houses, so that's what I'm getting ready to go to here in just a little bit. High school graduation open houses. Let's see, just pick a little bit of this. Okay, I like that better. That'll work. Just little simple tags. They don't need to be elaborate because we're just poking them in there. A little bit tall. Okay, that will work. That works even better. Okay, I'm gonna ink those up and glue them on off camera, and then we'll be right back. Okay. So I glued those on. I tore out the little word fruit. I found that. So I just added that. And put a little bit of twine in the holes here. I tied it closed with sari silk ribbon, but I think the twine kind of helps offset that a little bit. I don't know what happened there. I kind of lost one side. I'm all thumbs today. Okay, There we go. And I just had this little snippet of trimming that I had cut off from something else. And just put that on there. Little snippets you have on your desk, don't throw them away. Just put them in a little bowl or something while you're crafting, and then you can grab them, put them on your tags and corners of your pages. Come on, get them. There we go. I think that's it for that page. Oh, easy tuck spot there. All right, like that. Okay, now let's do the inside page. And that is pretty easy to do. I just took a large full-size picture that she had in her book and tore around it and glued it on. I did the stitching through my machine later, which was a bit of a chore because you got to really kind of bend it around to get it to fit how you need to be able to sew around it. But before I sewed it, well, let me just show you. I'm just gonna tear this around this and ink it up and glue it on. So I don't even need to do that on camera. You know what it's like. You know how to tear and ink and glue. So that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to tear this to fit, and I'm going to ink it and glue it on. Okay, be right back, and I'll show you how I did the other side. Okay, so I went ahead and did this side too, and I tore 2 full-size papers around, inked them, and glued them on. But let me show you something I forgot to do. On this one, I have ties because I want to tie it closed. I was originally going to wrap them around. When I put it in the journal, I was going to have my ribbon on the outside, and I decided against that. And I glued them below the pictures there, and I forgot to put those on when I glued these down. So I got this one on, and I'll show you how I did it just in case you do something like that. I have one of these little tiny spatulas from my original Cricut machine. You use it to get things off of the sticky mat when you cut. So if you have one of these, these are wonderful. I use it for all kinds of things. So what I did is I wrapped my sari silk over my spatula, and then I kind of lifted up the edge of the paper, and I just kind of worked it in there. Like that. And then I don't really have to worry about gluing it because I'm going to run that around the sewing machine anyway, and so my stitching will hold that. But that's how I did the other side. So I thought I'd share that with you just in case you make the same mistake I did. That this little thing has been a lifesaver for me on more than one occasion. Okay, so I've done that. Now, I don't want to stitch it yet because I want to put this little pocket in here. So what I did first, both sides are done the same way, so we're only going to do one side together, this side together. What I did is I didn't want a lot of distraction on my pocket area in case I decided to do a really embellished tag or something, and I didn't want to detract from this. But you do however you want. I chose one of her pages from the index in the back that just has a bunch of words. That's what I used on this piece and this piece over here. And then I took, oh, ta-da, there, look, I can show you at the same time. Then I took another one of her full sheets of illustrations from the book, and I split it and used it between the 2 pieces so I wouldn't have any waste. So that's how I did that. So we'll do this one together. Okay, so again, I'm just taking a full sheet of words, and I'm going to tear around the edges to make it fit. And really, because I have a pocket, I don't need the whole thing, but by the time I tear that off, might as well just use the whole page, huh? I'm not so concerned with how nice that side looks. It's going to be below the pocket anyway. Okay. And then that pencil. Mark where I want to tear that little tab thingy out. Okay, that'll do it. So we'll just ink that up real quick, might as well. I keep pausing my camera so you don't have to watch me do things, and then my camera shuts itself off. And then when it does that, it opens a new file. Whenever I turn the camera back on, it opens a new file. So I have all these files I'm going to have to splice together later. Oh, you know, you don't even have to ink that edge because it's going to get covered. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue that on. Okay. There we go. And now I want to make the pocket here. And I did not have any offcuts from my file folder that were long enough for what I wanted to do, or wide enough for what I wanted to do. So I'm just using a sheet of cardstock, and it's going to be covered anyway. So this is a cream, it's a very light cream color, but it's okay. I'm going to ink it and cover it up anyway. So I'm just kind of eyeballing how big I want that pocket to be, and I think about right there, and then I want it to be about the full size, so I'll mark it down here. I'm going to trim that real quick. My paper trimmer is right here, so I'm just going to trim this real quick. Right there. Okay. Oh, bang my knee. Okay. Yep, that'll work. All right, and then I did a decorative edge punch there. So you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Just make this your own. And this is not a real great punch, so hopefully it will behave on camera and I won't have to bang it or throw it across the room. Oh my. Okay, one more punch. Oh my. That thing needs sharpened or replaced. Definitely. Ah, here comes the dogs. They've been in the other room with my son, and they've not been happy. Mom's doing super cool things in here without them. They're okay, buddy. They're all right. Will you hand me my inker thing down there I dropped? All right, thank you much.
Are you sure you want them in here?
They're fine. All right, so we're just going to ink up the edges. Oh, the dog licked that before he picked it up. Gross. All right, we're just going to ink up the edges a little bit. life happens. Even though you're on camera, life still happens. So you're fine. It's fine. You're fine, bud. Everybody knows I don't live alone. I have a family and dogs and chaos, just like everybody else. Okay. And I'm just going to lightly glue that down because we are going to stitch it. So, but I'm just going to put just enough glue on it to hold it in place till I can get it stitched. So there we go. All right, what over there? Scrap paper. Oh, my paper was a little big. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to glue this on here. So mark it up there, and actually I think I want to cut that part off, so I'll mark it down here. Alright, I'm just going to run that through my paper trimmer. Don't throw this piece away because we'll use it for the other side. And all your scraps that have words on them and flower pieces on them, you know, don't throw those away. Those work great for your tags, doing collaging. So all them little bits are useful. Now I could have torn this, but I don't know. I like that straight edge. It makes the punched edge there, I think, stick out more. And if I had torn this all around the edges, I think it would distract away from that. So I really wanted that to show, or stand out, excuse me. Okay. And the way we just did this left side here, that's the exact way you do the right side. And we're not going to do the right side on camera since we already did this side. Just do the other side the exact way. Okay. All right. Glue that on there. And now our pocket's done. So now we've got a nice little pocket, and your edge punch will stand out there. Okay, so do the other side the exact same way, and then if you want to, if you're doing machine stitching like I am, then go ahead and run this through the sewing machine and sew all around this outside edge, and so then you'll have nice stitching on this side and this side, just like this one. Okay. You do that to both sides, both flaps. So this side here and that side there. Okay, and that half of this paper that you cut off just now, you can use that over on your other flap. So I'm going to run this through my sewing machine, and I'm going to build the pocket on this side over here the same way I did this side, and then I will be back with you. All right, I have my pockets done on this side. That's one we did on camera. And then I finished on this side over here. So those are identical. Did all that off camera. And then now we're getting ready to do the back page. So I've gone ahead and cut out what I'm planning to use, which is these birds and a little bit of green up here to kind of make it pop, I guess, so to speak. Give it a little burst of color back there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down up there. And then I'm not gluing this one down yet. No, I'll show you why. But this is the picture that I've picked. And I've gone ahead and torn it so that it fits. And I've inked the edges. So you see, these are the birds, okay, but when I tore off this edge, I'm left with that word, and Yeah. I don't really want to leave it like that. If it said, originally it said blue in front of it, so if it still said that, fine, but not by itself. So I'm going to take this over the sewing machine, and I'm just going to put a little stitch on that, just so it doesn't draw attention to that. I know, it's silly, and that may not mean the same thing in whatever country you are in, but in the United States it does. So I did that on my other one, but it's just too pretty of a picture not to use. So I'm going to make it work. So I'm going to run that through the machine just right there in the corner. I'm just going to take this over there and just stitch that on a little bit. So be right back. Okay. Get this glued on. I know that was silly of me to worry about covering up that word. It's just the name of the birds, but I know if my husband or some of your husbands was flipping through that, they would snicker and have some sort of joke or comment to say, I'm sure. Okay. Okay, so that's all decorated. We'll do the inserts here in just a little bit. Okay, so let's flip back to the inside here. And on the other one, I had left the pockets up here sort of plain so the tags would really show without any distraction. And now I'm not certain if that's what I want to do. Now I can't really decide if I kind of want a piece of paper back there. So I'm going to take this piece of paper here, which I had set out for something else, but I'm sure I own another one. I have 8 of these books, so I'm sure I can find this page somewhere else. I just want to see what this is going to look like. And I probably should have decided this off camera, but I'm getting ready to decorate that part on this one, on that other one, so I want to know if that's what I like. I don't really want to tear off the bottom until I see it in there and decide. What do you think? Kind of needs it, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so too. But I think maybe just decorate this back one and then leave the middle one. What do you think? I think I like it with the paper. Yep. Okay, me too. All right, that's what we're going to do then. All right. Thanks for the help. Okay, so you get to watch me tear the same piece of paper a second time. All right, it doesn't have to go all the way down, so I think I'll be able to salvage one of those little verses off of that poem. Yeah, this bottom one right here. Let's tear that off and then salvage that to use on a tag or something. Okay, won't throw that away. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I like that, and that yellow goes well with the yellow next to it. Yep. Okay, let's ink it up real quick and then we'll glue it on. I'm watching the clock because I gotta go to those graduation open houses this afternoon. So I went and got dressed and fixed my hair and put on my jangly dangly bracelet. I'm all ready to go. And that way I can play until it's time to walk out the door, just like a little kid would. My family doesn't subscribe to my channel, so it's okay if I say I really, really don't want to go. I really just want to stay home and play. They're calling for storms and stuff this afternoon. So I really don't want to have to get out in it and get drenched somewhere. And if it's going to storm, it's a great day to stay inside and craft. But that's all right. Okay. Now on that other one, I had taken a piece of the leftover berries and cherries, whatever it was we had used when we did the tag earlier, so we'll just finish tearing that up. So always check your scraps when you tear them off, because there might be good things on the back. Like that'll make a great little piece to put on a tag to embellish somewhere. So I keep all those little pieces. Might even keep that one. Okay. All right. I have the noisiest chair. Okay. Put that on there like that. And then I don't care for that. Oh, I know. I have a piece of paper. This one. Oh, this paper is really thin. Okay, that bracelet is going to drive me nuts. I'll put it there on my craft desk, and when I get ready to leave, I'm sure I will forget to put it back on. That's okay. I can't handle the listening to it jangle on the counter. Okay. So, have you, hang on, trying to multitask. Yep, okay. Have you read about Edith Holden? I think you can look it up online. Sorry, I'm listening to my daughter holler at the dog in her room. I don't know what he's doing. She's saying, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's what she's saying. I can just imagine what he did. I bet you he made a foul smell in her bedroom. Was that the dog?
No.
Oh. Okay, how's that? That looks nice. Anyway, what I was saying was Edith Holden, it's kind of a bit of a sad story with her. She didn't get married until she was like 40 years old, I think, and then she was only married, I think, 9 years, and at the age of 49, she drowned in a river. I think it was the River Thames, collecting something off of a tree. You know, she loved nature, and I don't remember what she was collecting off of the tree, but samples of something, and she drowned in the river. I'm like, that is so tragic. She died doing something she loved, though. But she wasn't very old, and they never had any kids. So I guess it was her niece that ended up with her diary that she had put together. This diary that she had put together in 1909. Her niece ended up with it since she didn't have any children. But yeah, you have to look it up. It's kind of sad. Oh golly, I wish I had some more of this green paper I used, because I would make it match over on this other side. I wasn't thinking. Oh well, we'll use some of this. Yeah, just like that. All right, well, I'll ink that up and glue it off camera, so you don't have to watch me do that. And then I think we will put the inserts together, so I'll be right back. Okay, so before we do the insert, I kind of decided I wanted a little something underneath that berry right there, so I just took some text and tore it out and inked it, and then I just kind of lifted it up a little bit. That would be the dog wanting back in. So just glue that in and glue that down. And I inked around the edges of this piece that I found, and I thought this would go well right here because it kind of carries the butterflies across, and then it also has a lot of yellow. So I've chosen that, and I'll glue that in later on my own off camera. So now we are ready to do the inserts. And so what you're going to need now is 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So gather that up, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so I'm back. It's only been a couple seconds for you. It's been hours for me. We're going to make these journal inserts now to go inside of our pockets right here. So that's what we're going to work on next. So yeah, so you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. For mine, I chose a craft color. You can go with a cream color. You can go with whatever you want to. I just went with this because I have scads of this craft colored cardstock in my stash, so that's what I went with. So we're just going to fold it in half, and you're going to need 2 of them, one for the front pocket and one for the back pocket. So we'll just make them both at the same time. We're just folding them in half, and I'm going to go ahead and check my size. So I need to cut some off, obviously. I'm just going to set that down there and give it a little mark. And let me check the back one, make sure that would fit back there too. Yep, it will. So I'm just going to trim both of them the same height. I'm just going to run them through my paper trimmer real quick. Okay. should fit, and we're okay on our width. So it's just the 8.5 by 11 sheet folded in half, and then trim it down just a little bit so it fits in your pocket. And then I like to round the corners on them. And then the next thing I did, and I may not have you watch this whole thing because I don't want it to be boring, but it's just find a, let me see if I can find one. No, I'll find one off camera here in a minute. Find a, just a full text piece, and then tear around it and glue it on, and then find a little accent piece. And then I've got mine on some cheesecloth. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Off camera, I'm going to find two pieces of paper that are just the text out of the book, and I'm going to find myself two accent pieces. And then you're going to need one 8.5 by 11 sheet of tea dyed or coffee dyed paper or blank paper of some kind. So, all right, that's what we're going to do next. So I've chosen background paper here for the front of just text, and I've inked around all the edges of my folded piece of cardstock, as well as around all the edges of the background paper. And I've chosen this little accent piece on cheesecloth. So I'm ready to glue this one on the back. So that's what I'm going to work on here. Glue this one here on the back side. And for this accent piece, I've chosen this. It's a wild strawberry plant. That's going to go here with a little bit of cheesecloth under it. Now, I usually don't dye my cheesecloth ahead of time just because I'm not that good at planning in advance. So I usually just kind of stomp mine with my ink brush on my ink pad and get it a little bit grungy looking, and it works just fine. Okay, and I'm just going to lay this down where I want to put that wild strawberry plant, and I'm going to put a little bit extra glue on this because I'm going through the cheesecloth as well. Put my glue a little bit heavy. I think it's easier just to glue it at the same time. And just give that a good smush. And trim out a little bit of that extra. We don't need quite that much. Okay, then on the inside, I used a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper that I trimmed off a little bit shorter. And I'm going to use the other half on this side to use for journaling on. And then I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to kind of smooth this out so that way we don't have bumps underneath there that are going to look bad when you're writing on this. Just kind of smooth the glue out that's below. And then the only thing left to do that I did on the other one is I ran these through my sewing machine and went all around this edge in my sewing machine. And then I had some Tim Holtz flowers that I glued on the inside, and those just goes right in there. I made two of them, one for the front pocket, one for the back pocket. Both are made exactly the same way. So there you have it. That is that. I'm not going to do the tags with you because I know you can make your own tags however you want to. But mine, I just used some of the word pages and then some Tim Holtz flowers on that one. And then I just did some layering with my book pages here. So that's all I did for those. So that will wrap it up. So thanks for joining me. Have fun. Happy crafting. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.